something that people always wonder about, and I did, was how do you get money to do this kind of thing? And so one of the reasons I went to Gary originally was I said, I have no idea what the scope of a budget is, because I'm used to doing shows. I mean, I'll just tell you, doing conferences anywhere from a $25,000 to $50,000 kind of a project, which is a lot of money. And it wasn't like falling off a log to get it at times. But these shows are in the more like 10 times that amount, $250,000 to $500,000 to put together a tour, because we're going to actually be not just doing a show at the WAMU, we're going to be going on May 20th to San Diego, and then on June 4th to Boise, and then on June 17th to Denver. So we're doing a 4-city tour in the month of May and June. And so that all adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. How do you get this money? And so we had to find a sponsor. And I just wanted to tell you how God works in this kind of a thing, not to sort of name drop with God, but, and I'm not given to actually doing a lot of quote unquote God talk, but there are simply times when things happen where you got to give God credit, and this is one of them. I have a friend in Los Angeles, Joe Myers, who actually was the person that led me into, some of you know I did a book called Jim and Casper Go to Church, and what led to that was a project called the eBay Atheist. Well, Joe was the one that actually turned me on to the whole eBay Atheist idea, several years ago. So we're good friends. Well, he was in LA and I was down there speaking at an event, and I decided to have lunch with him. In the course of his conversation, I found out that Joe is the CEO of a company called ProMark, and ProMark is a financial services company. And so in the course of our conversation, I was just talking about my show. Now, backstory, Joe has done several conferences with me. He helped me sort of produce and come up with the concepts we've developed over the years at the organization I led called Off the Map, and our conferences. So he really gets the ethos of the way I work. And in our conversation, I said, Joe, I'm going to do an event, a public event with Paul Young, the Shack, and we have to raise some money. He said, well, how much money? I said, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I said, we're looking for a major sponsor. He said, well, maybe we could do this. And within, just one thing led to another, that this was not planned at all, but within 6 weeks, ProMark had signed on as our major sponsor. And the president of ProMark, Kim Aoyama, has a wonderful backstory, not unlike Danny Goki, where that really fits into the Shack. Because one of the things we do in our show is actually interview and bring on stage our sponsor, but we tie it into the story in a wonderful way. And so this is how it's worked, and then we've gone to other people and raised more money. And right now we have a campaign on called Kickstarter, which is really gives regular people a way to give money to our show as well. Kickstarter.com. Actually, it's storiesfromtheshack.com. You can find out about that. But that's the backstory in that. I thought you'd be interested in knowing, how that comes together. Thanks so much for listening.